Our next guest, very big surprise for Bill. This is the young man who can sing, can dance, can swing, can do everything. And we have a lot of people in show business who can do all those things, but nobody like this man, Mr. Gregory Hines.
Oh, great! Great! Hello! Oh. Here.
Good to see you.
Oh, thanks.
Listen, I know that I'm supposed to be the guest, but I honestly believe we have seated on our panel two people who are going to be among the most significant stars of their generations. Brooke Shields, as an actress, will be at the top of her field for as long as she wants to do it. And Gregory Hines, as a performer, a multi-talented performer, is among, in my opinion, the best of his generation.
Right. Right on.
Hello.
Hey. Hey. This is nice. I like
Yeah,
this.
I feel pretty good now.
Well, first I want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know, why'd you decide you wanted to be an entertainer?
I wanted to do it for as long as I can remember. My parents bought a little white Bendix radio that I can't ever remember not having, meaning that this was by my tiny bed. My sister and I had these little bunk beds in this room in Philadelphia, and I used to listen to that radio and want to do what those people on the radio were doing, including people like Art Linkletter and people who did Your Hit Parade. I had all these fantasies of that. I can't remember ever wanting to do anything else except like be a baseball player. And if you had seen me play baseball, there was no hope.
And I know that Frank Sinatra has made a big impression on you. That must have started then, right?
Well, Frank Sinatra, well, actually, ironically, I used to print out on a little piece of cardboard each week Your Hit Parade, the songs, and then when I was 5 or 6, and then the next week I would turn and print up the other songs. And at the time it was Frank Sinatra singing it, and I didn't even make the connection. But back in Atlantic City, New Jersey, I really wanted to see Sinatra. My mother had been a Bobby Soxer, and I grew up listening to his music around the house, but I was never like a raging Sinatra fan. I liked Elvis Presley and Fats Domino and Chuck Berry very much when I was in high school. I snuck into the 500 Club to see Frank Sinatra dressed as a busboy because I couldn't afford to get in. And what I saw that night when I was like 17 years old totally affected me, because I saw this man come out on stage and let all these emotions come out of him. And all these people sitting in the audience feeling these emotions. And I thought, even if I'm never a singer, I want to be able to get up on a stage and affect people like that. And to have that power. So that was an enormous... And I told Sinatra that when I first met him, too. It had a big impact on me.
Well, I know you can sing.
Yes.
I've heard you sing.
I'm very shy about singing.
I know, but I mean, how come you never did a program just of you singing? One afternoon.
I can make a lot of excuses, but I guess I'm afraid to do it.
Because you can really sing. You know,
Well,
I remember that night?
If you come and help me, I'll do it.
I'd be glad to.
See, right away I'm asking for help. But yeah, I will do it if we can get somebody to pay the... Do you play the piano?
No, unfortunately.
No, he'll dance. He can do the dance.
Yeah.
All right, I'd love to do it sometime, but that's the truth.
But what about the... Oh.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
There is a young lady there who would like to ask you a question. Will you excuse me?
My name is Vicky Leacock, and I wanted to ask you, 5 years ago, you came here looking for a job, or, well, how did you get the job as a host on Midday?
Okay. I was in North Carolina hosting and producing Southern Exposure, which was a show which I did, which was on in the morning. I set up a deal for myself based on the way the Mike Douglas Show did their work. Because one of the things that's toughest about this is doing it every day. It wears you down a little bit. So I did 6 shows a week, so that each 6th week I had 5 shows in the can. So I got 9 weeks a year off. And during those 9 weeks, I went all around the country and did special filming and special projects. And I came up to New York and auditioned, had a whole week off, came here and auditioned and got the job. I got myself the job.
Are you glad you got the job?
Yeah. Am I glad I got the job? What do you think?
Of course.
I'd be still watching the tobacco fields down there in North Carolina. Sure, I'm glad I got the job.
We're glad you got the job.
It was one of the highest thrills of my life when I got the phone call that I got this job.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Thanks.
Acting.
Acting. I love acting.
All right, so if you could do any role, if you could pick out any role that you'd want to do, what would you do?
You mean like on a stage type role?
Stage.
I would like to do The Rainmaker. You know that thing?
Right.
Burt Lancaster did it, and Burt Reynolds did it, and it's about this guy who comes to town and he's conning people, but really he's not really a con. He's got this very sensitive side to him. I'd like to try that. I did Come Blow Your Horn, That's more like a cartoon character, and I like acting. I actually would like to do almost any part that would involve giving me a chance to get anger out and to get like that part of me out, where I could not be the nice guy, where I could really be the guy who just looks at somebody and wants to throw him over the bridge. You know, just push him over. Shove a grapefruit in their face. Give me a grapefruit. I'm ready.
Have you ever thought to do like little vignettes on the show sometimes?
Well, we have a problem since the show's supposed to be public affairs. We don't think in terms of structuring dramatic things into it. Actually, over the years, we have done some skits and stuff like that. And if I were to totally tailor-make a show for myself, it would involve some aspects of that. But we would need then writers, and we'd have to pay actors to do it. And we're not really equipped and budgeted to do that. And that's not like the mission of the show. But for sure, yeah.
So you say the show wears you down.
Well,
sometimes
it's the
you come in and you
routine.
don't feel like it.
Well, yeah. There are those times when I've been out late at night. I figure out of 13...
Disco Mountain?
Climbing Disco Mountain. I figure out of 1,300 shows, at least 50 shows I did with sleep deprivation, as I mentioned before. Now, I want to apologize for those shows, because you're not quite up to par on a show like that. But I would say that it's the routine of it, Gregory. 5 days a week, you know, a show a day. To keep it fresh and to keep it special, it's the same thing with doing a Broadway show.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, you know, Bill, time is running out. I hate to say it, but I'd like to say, Brooks, I know you have to make a flight. You're going somewhere to do, possibly, I'm sure, a movie again.
She's going to be back next week.
I'll be back next week.
For the show with Natalie Wood and Cornelia Sharp, Tuesday afternoon. You will be here for that.
Thank you for being with us, sharing.
Bye. Bye. I'll see you next